Hello everybody, Mr. Van Zora here. This video is going to go over the directions for your worksheets, and I'll also try to answer any questions that you may have as you're going through it. Make sure that you watch the video before this in the previous step because it'll go over these symbols here in our stick notation. So if you did watch those videos, you know that our plain stick like this equals a quarter note, our beam stick like this equals our beam's eighth note, and the Z here equals our quarter rest. All of these are equal to 1 beat. So my quarter is equal to 1 beat, my beam's eighths is equal to 1 beat, and my quarter rest is also equal to 1 beat. Now a review from our time signature video. The top number tells you how many beats are in a measure, whereas my bottom number tells me which type of note equals 1 beat. All of the time signatures we'll be using today have 4 on the bottom, and that tells us that our quarter note equals 1 beat in 4/4 time, or 3/4 time, or 2/4 time. That's a question you'll see a couple times, like number 2 here. Which note equals 1 beat in 4/4 time? That's going to be a quarter note, so you draw a quarter note here. So let's just go through a couple of these questions just to answer any questions you might have and just to hear what the directions are. Number 1 says, in 4/4 time, how many beats are in a measure? Now remember, if we go back up here, the top number tells you how many beats are in a measure. So whatever the top number is here, that's the answer for your question. And we already answered number 2. Number 3 asks you how many quarter notes, or tas, you remember we call them ta or tt, but how many quarter notes will fill a measure of 4/4 time. So that's asking how many quarter notes will it take to get to 4. Just remember, a quarter note equals 1, so how many ones do we need to get to 4? Then, whenever you see a question that looks like this and it says separate the measures by drawing in the missing bar line, you see that here as well as number 8 and number 10. It's giving you a different time signature each time. So here you have 4/4, then you have 3/4, then you have 2/4, and it's asking to count to however many beats you have and write in the bar to complete the measure. Because here, right now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 beats. This top number 4 tells me that I'm only supposed to have 4 beats in each measure. So you have to count out to 4, and then wherever that is, draw a line so that you don't have 8 beats. Instead, you have 4 beats in the measure. The next questions are the same thing, just changing from 4/4 time now to 3/4 and then to 2/4. And that completes that first worksheet. The second page you have called Count the Beats uses the same stick notation. So the line is a quarter note, the beamed line is a beamed eighth note, and the Z is the quarter rest. The directions say to count the number of beats in each example to complete the time signature. The total number of beats tells us what the top number of the time signature will be. So remember, the bottom, like we said, is always going to be 4, but the top changes based on however many beats you have in a measure. Here we have an example where we have a quarter note, which equals 1, a beamed 8, which also equals 1, a quarter rest, which also equals 1 beat, and a quarter note again, which also equals 1 beat. So I have 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. That brings me to 4. So I'm going to put that 4 in the top here. So however many beats you have, that's the number that goes in the top box here. So for example, we'll do number 1 together. Here I have a quarter note and a beamed eighth note. So I have 1 plus 1. So I get 2. So in the box here, I'm just going to write the number 2. You'll do the same thing for the rest of these all the way up to number 9. And then the next page you have is called Mixed Meter Mystery. The directions are the meter is changing in every measure. Count the beats in each measure to complete the time signatures. The total number of beats in the measure tells us what the top number will be. So very similarly, you're just counting however many beats you have and putting that top number into the box here. Each line is its own exercise, and in each measure it changes. So here we have an example. We have 3 measures here. The first measure is 1 plus 1, because we have a quarter plus an eighth. That gets us to 2, so we put a 2 in the box, so it's in 2/4 time. The next measure we have 8, eighth, rest. All of them equal 1, so we have 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 3. So now we have a measure of 3/4 time. And the last one we have quarter, quarter, eighth, rest, eighth, quarter, or 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. Ooh, I'm going to be adding 1 a lot this exercise. So now we count all those up. We get 6. We put a 6 in the top box because this is in 6-4 time. So you do that for all of them that we have here. And remember, it can go higher than 4. Like we just had one that went all the way up to 6. Some of them here, like this last one you'll see, will go even higher than that. So it doesn't have to only go up to 4. It can go higher or lower. That covers all of the directions for the worksheets that you have here. As always, if you have any questions, you can either watch this video again or go back to any of the previous videos if you need help remembering something. Or as always, you can ask me either through email or through Google Chat any questions that you have, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. You may now get to work on your worksheets. If you're working remotely, you can either print them or work with them on Cami. If you need any help with that, again, you can just email me. I'll be happy to help you out. All right, good luck, everybody. I look forward to seeing your work.